Hi everybody and welcome along. It's Saturday afternoon here. It's quite a bright day. And as Deborah said, happy spring everybody. We made it out the winter. We're still in lockdown. Nothing's changed really, but at least we can look out on some nice weather. So today I did a little video, I think it was during this week, pretty sure it was, with lockdown, one day is the same as the next, to be honest, about patchworking but using paper instead of fabric. Now, I used to be a patchworker. I had a patchworking business. And actually, the reason I gave it up was it was too successful. And, you know, I would have needed to take somebody else on, and then you've got all the problems of pensions and sick pay and all that. So I just closed the business down. But I did have some skills. And so I'm hoping that I can bring them over onto paper. It's very, very different. You know, there's no raw seams or anything like that. So it is different. And I appreciate that people like Flo, who do a lot of fabric work, will think, what on earth are you doing? It's just different, something different. So this is what I've been amusing myself with this morning. I made this piece. I love those colours actually, they're really nice. Because I was testing out, well, my trusty machine is here right by my side, but I've got a new machine, and it's all electronic and fancy pants, and I've had it, I don't know, 5 years, something like that. And it's been out of its box and then put back in several times. So today I asked Mr. P if he would get it out for me, and I messed around all morning long up until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. And I just don't feel confident enough to do the demo today using that. So I've got my old trusty favourite back. But whilst I had the new one out, I was trying out new stitches. You see it's got some fancy pants stitches there. I think, how many stitches did you say it had? 450?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's ludicrous, isn't it? Who's going to use 450 stitches? But I gave it a good bash today and used a few. This one that I've got has got 344 stitches plus alphabet, so it's got enough to keep us amused. So there's that, which I'd like to sort of look at maybe today. And then after doing that, I thought, oh, well, what I was going to do was cut a heart out of that. And I thought, no, why don't I just make a heart? So this was my first one. I just folded a piece of paper over and drew half a heart and cut it out. And that was the first one that I got, which is a bit fat and not long enough. Pretty, but slightly not the right shape. For a journal particularly. So then I made this one that measures 5 inches across there, and I thought would fit onto a page. Don't pay any attention to that. I was trying to put a bow on it with my new machine, and I started in the wrong place. Looks promising though for future. So this measures 5 inches across there, so that would go onto a journal page really nicely. And it could be a tummy tuck actually if you just glued it there, or if you glued it all around there and there, it could be like a corner tuck or a pocket, and you could jazz it up. I just happen to have this gold butterfly, as you do, that had been cut out whilst we've been cutting some other butterfly die cuts. He's disembodied at the moment. I'm trying to put his body on like that, which you can cut with a different thing. That's the idea.
Mike says do 450 lives, one a day.
Yes, Mike, and I love you too. So yeah, I mean, you can decorate it up. That, you know, it's quite nice and shiny, and it looks quite nice. Decorate it with anything you like. You flower on it, anything you like.
Mike's getting his jab later.
Ah, look at you, Mike. So yeah, that's the heart. And then I thought, well, maybe that's just too big for people. You know, maybe you could get away with one of those in a journal or a folio, but you wouldn't want more than that. So I made a teeny tiny one. This has actually got 4 different coloured purples in it, but I don't think you can see them all really. They're all too much of a muchness. So I'll learn my lesson from that and try and get a bit more contrast with the colours. So I've stitched each one, and then I've gone round the outside with a zigzag stitch. Now I appreciate that this, whatever you want to call it, this live, is not for everyone, and some of you don't sew. I know that, and my apologies if I'm excluding you, but I know that a lot of people, and I'm thinking particularly of Leslie and Janya, have really got the sewing machine. I think Janya even bought hers. I don't think she sewed at all before this, and they've really come on in leaps and bounds. So, you know, they've done everything they can do. They've done the straight stitch and the zigzag and whatever, and they're looking for something else to do. So don't be put off either if your sewing machine doesn't have a lot of fancy stitches. You don't need them. You absolutely do not need them. You know, this was me just playing with fanciness. Not necessary in any way. Right, let's put that away to one side. So I thought the first thing we'd do, for those people that haven't seen or didn't watch the video, we'll make a full A4 sheet of patchwork, and then we can cut it up however we like, for pockets, for tags, for cut hearts out of it, do whatever you like, but we'll make the full A4 sheet. Strikes me that collages and Franken pages, whatever you want to call them, have been on the go and very popular for a long time, and I like them myself, but have they been done to death a little? No, I don't think so, because I still do like them, but I'm looking for a different spin on it. So I'm going to do whatever you want to call it, a collage, a Franken page, whatever, but I'm going to sew mine. And if you have the wherewithal, machine and whatever to do it, give it a go. So I have looked out some pages from my 12 by 12, because I'm still frantically trying to get through them, and I've opted for a pink and green palette. I wanted something that would show up for you the differences. So these are the papers I've chosen. This one's a bit glary, but we don't probably need too much of it. And then the greens are quite bright, quite sort of acidic-y green, but I need something that's going to show up. So I've chosen loads of pages here. We don't need this many. Just made me feel good ripping them out of the book. That one, and this is going to be our blank that we're going to sew onto. Now I've got my big paper cutter out for the occasion. And what you can do, if you want, is you can cut the same size strip down each one. You know, make it an inch or inch and a quarter, something like that. And then do one about 2 inches and maybe one about 2.5. And that'll get you out of most of the things that you want. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if my slicer will slice all them. I think it will, I don't know. I'll put them in 2 lots just in case. So I'm going to cut this at 1 inch and a quarter-ish. It doesn't matter whether they turn out square or crooked or whatever, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to cut again at about 2 inches. You don't need all these papers either, incidentally. 3 or 4. 4 is ideal, I would say. So I've got my inchy bits, I've got my 2 inchy bits. And I'm going to cut again at 3. Just so I've got some bigger bits. That's complaining. Just cut that there. Makes it better when this is at the top, to be honest. Sorry? What am I doing? Doing that. Okay. So now we'll do the pinks. These are my remnants. So I'll have to think of something to do with those now. It's never ending, isn't it? I mean, if you've got remnants, use your remnants. That's what I would say. Don't go making extra. And this one a bit wider. Right, that's that. There's my remnants. I can probably put my slicer away now, I think. I won't put it very far, just in case I need it again. Okay, so here we go. Here's all our bits. And I've also laid out some plain green card and some pale green card and some pale pink card, because we might want to use those just for a rest for our eyes. Right, okay, let's get cracking. Now there's no pattern for this, there's nothing on your paper. You're just using your paper as a carrier sheet, really, and you can, if you really want to, do it with no paper at all. Just do it with the bits of paper. Let's start with this one. This is a pretty one. So yeah, I'm just going to cut that off. I'm just going to build this as I go, and I'm going to tack them on with a bit of glue stick. So that's square and that's square, so I can start pretty square then. That's right in that corner there. Okay. I'm not sticking, I'm tacking them is all I'm doing, because I don't want them flying around all over the place, but neither do I want the glue in my machine. So I'll cut that about there. A little bit of glue on the back, and I'm just going to overlap that. Just, it's about 1/8 of an inch overlap, I would say, something like that. Then possibly something up here. There's a nice big bit of green. Yeah, okay, let's go with that. So if you like jigsaws or anything, Carrie, you'll love this. I'm not sure that's entirely straight, so I'm going to put it outside of the paper. Then a bit of pink, I think, maybe. Along there. Yep. Takes time, this. So you're best not to rush it, really. I mean, what's the rush? What is there to rush for?
It's a good way of using up all your scraps.
It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's the ideal thing. Just, you know, if you save your scraps in colour-coded fashion, like I don't, it's perfect. Just go and get a couple of colours that you fancy. Is that going to be... I could get that over there, but I'm going to have a little bit here, so a little bit of a wider piece possibly. So because I've just tacked them down, I can move them quite readily. I thought I could, but I can't. So that would be all right there. If I cut that to there. This has got a grid on, so it lets you know just how off my cutting was. So if I put that there, what's the story? How does that look? I want it a bit narrower, actually. I want to see more of that pink. Don't throw these bits away though, because sometimes they come in really useful. So if I put that under there like that, yeah, that's nice, building up nicely. Let's just glue that in place. There we are. So we're almost at the stage where we can sew things. We could sew that one, but not quite yet. We'll do the next row across. We want more pink, I think. Could put that one under there. Let's have a look and see. So it is, as you see, really, it's building a collage up is what it is. That's too long, I want that off about there. Yeah, that's fine. This is an excellent, excellent way of making journal covers, because once you've finished, you can laminate it, and they look great. They really do. You know, take your time over it. I don't want this piece here, but I'm going to cover it over with something, so it'll be fine. I'm just mooching through my stuff to see. I haven't used this one yet. It's quite similar to that one though. Shall I go bright pink? I'll go bright pink. No, then I've got a whole heap of pink there. Back to this bright one here. I don't want that as a straight line. So yeah, I'm going to cut that off about there. Put that in there. Excellent. Marvellous. Let's try and straighten that up a bit. Put that under there. There we go. Just going to have to put a little bit of extra gluage on some of these, because they're just getting a little bit too flappy for their own good. There we go. Now then, something in here, but I don't want just one piece. I'm going to go for the bright pink there, like that. And I don't want to carry that line on any further. When you're doing this at home and you've got loads of time, I would suggest that you put a bit of a grid on your paper so your papers are straight, because if you come to cut a tag out and it's not straight, it'll look really bad. So it's, you know, it's an idea to put a bit of a grid on your paper just to keep you relatively straight. So if I put that in under there like that, have it sticking out a bit more there. Yep. And what's it looking like, guys? Is it looking all right? I don't even know who's watching. Who's watching?
First time you put that green on, I thought my camera was broken. It had gone all pixelated.
This one?
No,
that one? Yeah. No, not you. Not you, it's me. And this one. Let's put that one there. Excellent. That's great. If you're going shabby chic and you're using all shabby papers, nothing at all stopping you from inking around these. It's a bit pointless me doing it for this, because I don't need to. I don't ever know if I'm going to use this bit of paper. I might. But, right, so now we can get on and do a little bit of stitchery. So that can be stitched because it's, there's no raw bit. That, yeah, there's lots that we can stitch. So for the sake of this, I'm just going to use zigzag and straight stitch. We'll get on to fancier things when we get on to fancier things. So for this, I'm going to start at the inside edge and go out. I'm going to set my machine to tie off at the beginning and the end. I don't have any automatic scissors or anything on here, so it's just, I've got a very dark charcoal grain so as you can see it. There's no point me doing things that you can't see. So, curl that over a bit. Am I in the camera way? No. Right, so, get that going.
Maybe when you come through, like,
Ah.
you have to move that back a bit, give you a bit of room.
Oh, my foot pedal's not working well.
You put it on the foot pedal again?
Yeah. I might get the hang of it and stay working. Right, so I've sewn one just kind of over on the edge, let's say, and I'm going to cut my threads off as I go, because otherwise you end up just with a real mass of threads. So that's that one, and I've sewn onto the piece. I've sewn onto the piece that's on top of the other piece. So I'm always going to sew the piece that's on top. So the next one along is this one, and I can go right to the edge here because that's a straight line. So I can sew all the way around, along there. Well, I could have made. This is not the first or the second foot pedal that I've broken. Now this is on top, so when I said I could sew all the way along, I lied, because this green is underneath. So I'm going to go around here, which is still the bit that's on top. Follow that shape along. And then finish, tie it off. Okay. Should we have a roll call? We haven't even had a roll call. There's too many people.
I don't know if I've got everybody now, but we'll have a go. Shall we have a go?
Have a go.
I've missed you, you'll have to shout out. Goni.
Hi, Goni.
Kyung.
Hi, Kyung.
Ros.
Hi, Ros.
Bernice.
Hello, Bernice.
Michelle.
Hello, Michelle.
Joan.
Hi, Joan.
Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Violet.
Hello, Violet.
Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Jean.
Hi, Jean.
Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Carrie.
Hello, Kerry.
Nancy.
Hello, Nancy.
Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Connie.
Hi, Connie.
Sharon.
Hello, Sharon.
Flo.
Hello, Flo.
Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Zuberfi Design.
Hello, Zuberfi Design. I bet you that's not how you say it.
Jure.
Hi, Jure.
Then everybody, if I miss you, you have to shout out.
Okay.
You have to stop lurking.
I'm going to leave this small section here. Even although this is on top of that, just because it's a raw edge, I don't like sewing onto raw edges particularly. I prefer to wait till I've got my other stuff on. Now this piece here, it's on top of that and it's on top of this. When we come to here, there's other bits on top of it. So I'm just going to sew the edges where it's the bit that's on top. And let's go crazy and have a zigzag stitch. And hopefully it'll work. Okay, this is a lovely project for getting to know your machine. It really is, you know, because there's nothing really too complicated, and if you go wrong, it's not the end of the world. I don't know where you'd go wrong. So right, this pink is on top of the green until it gets to here. So I'm going to sew around that. I'm going to just do a straight stitch. Just down to where it meets that green and tie it off. Trim the ends. Right, so what else have we got that we can sew? I can sew all the way around that green until it disappears under the other green, and I think then that's the last bit that I can do until we get some more on. Come on, machine, you're really annoying me now.
I'm going to see if I can find another foot thing for you to break.
I thought you said we didn't have any. I thought you said I'd broken them all.
No, I said we had one left.
Oh. I don't do anything to it particularly. Just use it. Okay. Problem is the feet are so blinking expensive.
Foot pedal.
Foot pedal, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's heard me talk about it now, so it's decided to work. Right, I think that's about as far as we can get stitching without stitching onto a raw edge, which I don't want to do particularly. You can, you definitely can. But that's my rule, my own silly little rule. Okay, so we're almost halfway across. Right, let's have a bit of this. It's going to have to go over because it's stuck down. I'll bring it up to about there. So I'll cut it off there. I hope you're enjoying this and not finding it a bit tedious, but I think it's a nice thing to do. I could put that there, and I've got that tiny little scrap that I had before that I could put in there. That's quite nice. I like little bits. Yeah, I'm going for that, quite like that. So I'll get the glue out again. Let's just stick that down there. There we are on this piece. I'm going to stick down here. Because I've got no grid, I'm not really sure that what I'm doing is straight. I think it is. But like I say, it would have been better had I drawn a grid on for myself first. But I didn't, so I didn't. Right, so if I put that one over there, over that edge, down to about there. I want to leave a little gap there because I quite like that. So I'm going to put that there, I think. So kind of straight with that little bit that we put on, just to make our lives easier when we come to sew around them. So there, yeah, fine. Now I'm going to put on, I think, should I put on a bit of, that looks a bit dull actually. Yeah, the green looks a bit washed out. So I think I'm going to put a bit of pink on. But what I'm going to do, or what I plan to do, is stamp it. That might not be the perfect place for it actually, but let's do this anyway. I'm going to stamp it with something, yeah, these stamps, and something like stone grey. Yeah, stays on stone grey. It's just a bit less harsh than the jet black that they do. And these lovely stamps that Nancy sent me, which are beautiful, and get a lot of use, I can tell you. How about we do that one? They're all lovely. Right, so you know my history with stamping, it ain't great. So I've got a whole sheet to go at. Let's get rid of this ink around the corners. I don't need that. Let's see what happens. Yes, that's just perfect. Do you mean you can't stamp? I know. So I think that would make a little light relief in our paper. So I'm just going to cut it out. And it may be that you want to put it over the top. You can do that. You can do anything. Or it may be that I'd quite like it there. And I think I would. So I'm going to stick that down. So I'm going to put that there, like that. That's nice. I like that. It's just something different, isn't it? The eye rests on it because it's different. Let's put the pink away again then. Right, let's get this out. This is nice and bright and breezy. I'm going to put that over the top, otherwise it does look just like you've stuck it on, which you can do. You can do, when we've finished, you can stick anything you like on, stamps or different bits of paper or anything at all. But all we're trying to do at the moment is cover this piece of A4. So I'm just going to come over the side of there like that. Yeah, okay. Okay. How about a bit of that along the bottom? It's maybe too big. It's too big. I'll cut it off. Oops. Press too hard with my glue stick. So I'm going to just come along the bottom there, over this piece here. Want a nice piece of dullish green, like that, for example, to about there. Let's see what that looks like. Looks all right, I think. It's quite a large piece, but we'll just be careful when we cut it out. So I can make that straight up there, which then means when we sew it, we've just got one straight line. I don't think that's entirely straight, but never mind, it's near enough. Right, I need some pink. Desperate need of some pink. So I could put that in there, but I want it narrower than that. Put that over there and over there. That's fine. Let's cut that there. Is everybody all right?
Yeah.
Bored?
I don't believe that they are.
Oh, that's good.
Michelle says she doesn't think junk journals ever sleep. You're always coming up with new stuff.
Well, like I say, I love collage. I really love it. But it needs a twist. It's been around long enough now. Needs a twist. What shall I use? How about I put that there? I'm trying to make this last bit a bit interesting. You all right, Mr.
Yeah.
I'm quite ruddy, aren't I, today? I think it's all flapping around with the sewing machine.
I think so, probably. And, you know, the sun's peeping through.
And the fire's on.
And you know how you Scottish people are with your blue blood.
Blue skin, definitely. I'm going to put that down there. I like that there. You can take forever over this and you can agonise over every single piece. Or you can just leave your brain out of it completely, which is the right way, I would say, of doing it, and just go with the flow. I think I'm going to put another pink one of those in because I really like that, actually.
Keon says it's amazing what that simple little stamp did.
I know, Keon. Right. It is amazing. I'm going to use the leafy sort of
If you
one.
overdid it, it wouldn't be so effective, would it?
No.
It's just now and again, it just really does lift it.
Right, I'm going to give my stamping another test. I'm going to go up here. Please work, please work, please work. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I like stays on because I know what it does. There's so many inks around and I honestly don't know if you can use them with watercolour or if you can use them, I don't know. So I'll stick with my stays on and my distress inks. That way then I know what they do. Oh, that's not straight. It doesn't have to be exact, but that was a mile out. Yeah, it still is. I'm going to end up with something that's 1 millimetre long. Yeah, I'm just going to put that on the edge there because I quite like that. I did have a bit of excess ink down here, but don't worry. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to put that right up to the edge because I know the edge of that is square. Lovely. I'm boiling.
Do you want to open the window?
No, be all right. I won't expire. I don't think I will anyway. If it suddenly goes very quiet and very dark, I've expired. Yeah, I want a piece of this for there. Let's just...
Makes you wonder how long it'll be before anybody noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't notice, you're going on the naughty step. But there'll be no one there to police the naughty step, so... Right, so that's going there. Lovely. That's great. Oh, I didn't realise it was the same as that, but never mind, it doesn't really matter. A bit of that bright pink, possibly. Just balance it out a little bit. I've got any thinner bits of that.
Mike says no hot brews today, Mr. F.
Ah, Mike, hot brews are just the thing. Apparently, right? I'm just quoting what I've heard here. Because you've imbibed something warm, your core suddenly feels warmer. So then your periphery tries to cool you down. So theoretically, if you're too warm, you need a hot drink. Just saying, I have no idea if that's right or wrong. It's probably wrong. Where am I going to put this?
Shall I make a coffee and put it to the test?
Yeah, go on then.
But then we would only know if we had a thermal camera on you, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. That's just taking it too far. It really is. So I'm going to put that on straight with this green bit, which will make the sewing.
I should have put a thermal camera on the wish list.
No. All this sort of jaggedy bits, they'll all get sewn down, so don't worry about those. It's got to be green. It's got to be green. And it's... what else have I got? I've got that starry stuff. This stuff. Oh no, but I've got starry.
Before you get sewing again, because if you get sewing now,
yeah,
you need to switch the camera over.
You better be speedy then.
Speedy.
That's just too. It's too much. There's too much green. Too much of one thing. So I'll put that there. Put it underneath there. I could have it level with that. No, that's just too cheaty. So I'm going to tuck that into there and put that up there. And then I can get away with one piece in the corner, definitely. And I'm going to use this stuff because I really like it. In there. Lovely. I'm going to put that over the top actually. In fact, that's the square bit, so I'm going to put that over the top. There we go. Right, so shuffle all those to one side. Right, I'm going to cut off all the excess around the edge. Mr. F's just ready to switch the sewing cam on. Sorry, my love, I'm just going to cut all this off. And then you'll see where you need to stop stitching and stuff, otherwise you've got no guide. I hope that this is interesting enough for you. It's just something that I did and I thought, oh, that is so nice. I've got to tell people. I've got to evangelise about patchwork sewing. Get off. Just get off. Thank you, my darling. That is very, very nice of you.
You're very welcome.
I'll let you know if it warms me up or cools me down.
You're most welcome, my little
I'm going to throw that because it's got glue on the back.
metamorphic rock.
Metamorphic rock. What the heck?
Well, you're under eating pressure, aren't you?
Not too much pressure. I'd hate the ladies to think they... And Mike. Sorry, Mike. Right, okay, so look, here we are. We have a piece of A4 that we have covered in random pieces of paper. It's like a project you'd give someone at primary school, isn't it? Or elementary, or whatever you call it. But, you know, we are proud of it. So I'm going to work my way over, always doing the bit that's on the top. Okay, so this bit here is on the top. So I'll do it. Hang on, that bit is on the top as well. So I just need, about 3 stitches in there. Well thought through. Yeah, not. Oh. Stop. Thank you. That's ridiculous. It is literally 3 stitches. Right. So yeah, the next thing to do is that's on top, that's on top. Yeah, just stitch down there. And I'm going to zigzag it for the fun of it. This has been particularly painful today. And then this bit's on top, so I'm going to stop when I get to there. Lovely. I'd love to see you make some of this and see what you make with it, because it's really interesting. This bit is on top, so that needs sewing, but I'm going to stitch it with straight stitch. And that's it, you just work your way across, always doing the bits that are on the top. I tried to make a video the other day about me doing some, it was kind of crazy patchwork stuff really, and Mr. F had set me up, so I had the sewing cam on and I had the ordinary camera on, and I just had a button to toggle between the two. Do you think I could get it right? Could I heck? So, as a consequence, which is on the top there then, the pink, as a consequence it didn't get made. Right, I'm going to zigzag this one, and I can go right round this one, I think. Shift that across to the middle. Lovely. I see my machine skipped a stitch there, part of that is because it's getting intermittent feed from the foot, so it's not just gliding along nice and smoothly as you would wish it would. Right, so what's the story here? Well, this is on top of that and that's on top of that, so I can sew all the way around there down to there. So let's go back to straight stitch and just start with this little bit of pink up here. Poor Mr. F, honestly, if you could see him, when I'm sewing, he's having to hold my foot in position, and then he's having to toggle
your foot.
The pedal cable thing, not literally my foot, no, although that would be fun, and then toggle back between the, yeah, it does sound like you're a bit perverted.
Not for the first time.
Oh dear. So we're about halfway there. Lovely, making progress. So this bit is on top of that, so that needs sewing round, but that pink's on top, so just from there. And I'm going to zigzag it for a laugh. I'll keep out the way of that stamp if I can. Just keep your back tidy as you're going along. It's easier in the long run. It doesn't have to be immaculate because it would be back and everything anyway. Right, so the next thing then is this one, which is on top. Yeah, I just need to do that little stitch and then I can do that big green one. So I'll just do that with a straight stitch. Sorry, my machine's decided to be silly. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's Bobby snoring. As soon as I leave my seat, he gets up on it and he gets so comfortable. He is feeling a good lot better now. Apparently it was an allergy. Another one. I don't know what he's allergic to. For the first years of his life, I wasn't allergic to anything. Right, so now I'm going to go around this green piece here. Suddenly got a burst of power there. It's great that I've decided to give you a sewing demo with a machine that doesn't really work. Okay. Right then, where are we now? Might as well look at it the other way on now. Makes it easier with this smaller part under the machine. So this is on top of that. Let's sew that then. Okay, so there's a lot of toing and froing, stitching, trimming, whatever, but it's enjoyable. You know, if you're not standing here with poor Mr. F trying to do 30 things at once, it's quite an enjoyable thing to do. So, right, the next one I would say is that one there.
You're on this camera.
Yeah. This one here, that's the next one that's on top of something. I'm just going to trim my ends and I will be straight back to you.
You can see that bit.
Oh, good. Look, I've only got a little bit to do. Right, what's over what? That's over there, so let's do that. Let's do that in a zigzag. No, I'm going to do it in a straight stitch. I'd like you to know that it's not me that's going fast and slow like this.
Try the old lead or whatever.
No,
Because I can't.
you can't do it.
Well, it's not sewing very smoothly, is it? Let's be honest.
No, it's not. Yeah?
I don't think it's the lead. I think it's the socket in the machine that's.
Oh, is it? Well, then another lead's not going to help much. Right, so this is the next piece. I'm going to zigzag up here. Straight stitches are activated. I don't want straight stitch. I don't even know how to get out of it. Try that. Yeah, lovely. Fabulous. We got rid of that. Okay. It's like if it can go wrong, it's going wrong today, isn't it? Lovely. Bear with, because we're nearly there. I think this isn't going to be the longest of lives today. We need to get the machine sorted out. Right, so the next bit...
It's already been an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not going to be the shortest either.
Go on to a straight stitch. Put my locking stitches in. This is really, really, really good practice for anybody who wants to learn to sew, because it's just straight is all it is, and you can jiggle between your straight stitch, your zigzag stitch, And you can add any fancy stitches that you want to. I'm not, but you could. This is on top. So this is the best sewing in the world, guys. I'm going to stop in a minute, have some coffee and see what you've got to say about life in general.
Because I can't read the comments either from here.
No, so I want to know what you've got to say. So I'll stop. I'm nearly there. Need to sew around there. Oh, look at the stitching on that. It's horrendous. Horrendous. I feel like I'm sort of riding a rodeo bull or something, you know, it's just like goes all steady and then it just goes mad. I don't know why that should be a rodeo bull, incidentally.
Personal experience?
No.
Suppose that would make me the rodeo clown, would it?
Ha 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 ha. Labradoodle. Do you remember that? What was it, that programme?
Oh, I don't know.
What programme was that? It was ever so funny at the end when he said Labradoodle.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
It was about some bloke, wasn't he? He was an ex-Navy SEAL or something.
Yeah, that's right.
He went round trying stuff.
Trying jobs out.
Trying jobs out, but
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called.
No. That, I think, is that apart from that bit there, which I'm going to zip-lock. I don't really need to tie it, but I will. Yeah, and he thought he was all good at it, didn't he? And then the guy sort of said goodbye to him, and as the guy
He
was
wanted a radio nickname, didn't he?
Yeah, as the guy was walking away, he said Labradoodle, which amused me somewhat. Now I'm crashing against the camera. Let's just call that a day, that's fine. Right, I think I've done all the sewing, apart from the zigzag around the edges that I wanted to do, but I don't want to do that yet because I don't actually want a full sheet of A4. If you wanted to use this as a journal cover, it would be ideal. It's, you know, if you laminated it especially, you could cover it, you could paste over Mod Podge or Collage Medium or any of the decoupage glues just to protect it a bit. But I think I would recommend laminating it. I think it would look lovely, actually. And then you'd have it as a journal cover. I really do like these two stamps. It's a shame I didn't put one there. I could put one there if I wanted to. But we'll cut it out into some shapes first and see what's what. Anyway, let's have my coffee and see. My curse. Lorna, my machine has a button next to the backstitch button that will allow me to... Oh, too late, Mike, you've just gone off the top. Okay, guys, I need some prayers. My 6-year-old granddaughter is getting a COVID test. Well, I hope everything's well, of course. Laura Horner. Oh, you've just disappeared as well, Laura. Hi everybody, I'm not able to sew with my foot, so I have a brother machine that has a start and stop button. Yeah, that's what my new machine's like. And I'm going to have to get it out, obviously, because this one is giving up the ghost. Is it a speed issue? Is it a foot pedal issue? And the socket on the machine being worn? Oh yeah, that's you, Mr. F. Yeah. I agree, of course. Okay, so, well, nobody's got anything to say about this, so I don't know if you like it or you don't. But that's the front, that's the back, and what I'm going to do now is cut out some stuff. I'm sure I saw my templates down on the floor the other day, but maybe I didn't. Oh no, they're here. Goodness me, of course they're not on the floor. That would just be daft. Right, so these are my templates for you more recent guys that have joined us. I have a set of templates that are used for tags. This one's 4.5 by 2.5, and I have it in card, and I also have it in acetate. That then means that should that be the size that I want, which in this case it isn't, but let's just say it is, then yeah, that's the size I want. But I can move the acetate around to make sure that I get something interesting. For example, if I wanted the stamp that we did in the middle, I could put that there and I could see exactly what I would see through this, what I would get on my tag. So I don't want that, it's a little bit on the small side. So I've also got, I don't know where all my tags have gone, oh yeah. I've got a 5.5 by 3, now that's a much more useful sort of size. And once again I've got the cardboard bit and I've got the acetate bit. So let's have a look and see if we made that into a tag down there, what that would look like. Well, unfortunately it comes right onto that join, which I don't really want. So the next size up I've got is 6.5 by 3.5. This is a size I use quite often because it fits nicely into a junk journal pocket if it's just one pocket that you're doing.
You can rotate your paper as well, you don't have to necessarily go...
No, but just be aware of the stumps. You don't want them going sideways.
Yeah, it's just you're not near the stamps at the minute, do you?
So that, yeah, that's looking all right. So I could, that's right on that edge as well, but you know, I'm just going to have to louver that thing. And it's right on that edge. That's not what I want either. What else have I got? Journaling card, 6 by 4.5. Yeah, I think we might have cracked it with that one. Yeah, that's where it is. Down, just put this down here. Wait, it's alive, I tell you. Yeah, that's where it's going to be. So that's what we'd be left with. I quite like that, really. That's quite nice. So, okay, let's draw a line around that. I'm going to get my Frixian pen out. It is in here. I know it's in here. There it is. Mr. Edward's just going to get the claw out and he broke it. You want it there?
No.
Oh! Excuse me, a line that I haven't sewn. Oh my goodness gracious me, that's no good at all, is it?
It was Zerbafi Design that spotted that.
Ah, well done. With your excellent eye, you can have a job. Lovely, well done. I would have seen that at some stage, probably after it had been backed, and thought, no. Okay. And like I say, you don't have to use this dark charcoal thread. I'm using it so it would show up for purposes of the live. I don't even think Janya's on, is she? I hope she watches it back because I think she'd possibly quite like this. Right, so I was going to make a 6 by 4.5 journaling card there, wasn't I? That's what I was going to do. So let's draw around that. It's right on the edge, but you know, it's inevitable you're going to get some edges somewhere. So that's that. Now then, this little one that I cast aside before, can I get that in there? Oh, not quite. Not quite, but that's going to have to be a little tag, I think. I'll just cut it off and make it into a tag. Now then, this one. 6 by 3.5. Let's see what that's like. Well, that's just going to be off the top, so I might have to make that start at the top and come down. That would be that. Yeah, that's all right. That would be okay, I think. So I'm straight up against the line that I drew for that, and I'm just going to draw around this one as well. Around my thumb, evidently. I'm not sure I'm making the best use out of this paper, but there we are. So I've got a little piece left here as well. But don't worry, you know, if you were to put that onto a plain pink card and make it as a piece to go in a pocket, it would look nice. Don't get throwing things away willy-nilly. Let's try the 6 by 3.5 again. Yeah, and get that there. And that was always going to be on the edge, this stamp. So I'll draw around that. Imagine if every tag that you made took this long. Actually, in our house, probably does, to be honest.
Now, will the stitching not come undone if you cut it?
Well, I'm going to zigzag around the edges, which will have the effect of sort of locking it off, really. But if you are worried about it coming undone, and I'm not, because as I say, I'm going to zigzag, then just take a little piece of glue in your hand. Could even be the Elmer's glue, just between your thumb and your forefinger, and just run it over the loose end, and it'll keep it there, and it'll be fine. So there we are. I think that's about the best we can do with that. Let's chop these out. See what they look like. So that was, what was that? 3.5. Okay. I'll cut the top in a minute. And this one needs to get cut here, but straight. And this was our big journaling card. There we go. Right, so I've still got some of the bits to chop off. Chop off the bottom. 6.5 I want it. 6.5 it is. So it's up to you whether you want to make a whole page like this. I think you do get things more random, or whether you just want to make the tags as you go, one by one. I quite like doing a whole sheet. And as I say, even the little bits that you get left with, they're usable, you know. So let's just cut off the corners here. Oh, still needs a little bit cut off it. Needs to be 3.5. I'll show you now, Denise, what I mean about your threads.
Did you say Denise?
I thought you said Denise.
Bernice.
Oh, Bernice. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Bernice. It's not as if I don't know your name. Just thought it was somebody new called Denise. Yeah, here, for example, I've cut through the thread. So using any glue, Fabri-Tac, any glue at all, just rub it between your finger like that, and then just rub it over the end, and it'll just keep it. It won't fray. Just won't. You will not fray. Right, so that's quite a big journaling card, isn't it? Not sure if that wouldn't look better as two smaller ones, actually. So that measures 6. So yeah, I'm going to cut these down to 3. As that's just, it's unwieldy. It's ridiculously large.
Where have we heard that before?
Nowhere here. Right. I'll just get my little template for cutting corners off and cut these off. There's just a bit of plastic, and it's got the corners chopped off, 4 corners, all different angles. So you can choose your angle. Select an angle, any angle. Yeah, they're better like that, I think, definitely. So by we get round to tomorrow, somehow miraculously the sewing machine will either be fixed or I'll be using my new sewing machine. Either which way. Sorry, mate. Right, so what have we got then? We've got all of these. I've got something else, haven't I? That's all I've got. After all that work. And I've got these little bits here. Now they would make quite a nice little tag if you're doing some little corner tag or something like a corner thing. I can't remember what you call them. So yeah, actually I think that you could do that, and for this one you could get away with doing one of the pink stamps and putting it on there. I think that would improve that. I'm not going to do it because of the sewing machine dilemma, but you could certainly make them into little tags, which is my shallowest angle, that one. I mean, we put a lot of work into these, so you know, I'd like to use them. Just that one. I'm actually just gonna...
Jen says that pixelated paper makes her think there's something there she shouldn't see.
Yeah.
Like when they pixelate the rude bits.
Yeah. No, you're all right.
So we know what sort of programs Jen watches.
Yes. I've always thought that, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. I think we've done the best that we can with the...
That's why she wants to retire, so she can watch daytime TV all the time, I think.
It's blinking nighttime TV, it sounds like she's watching. Right, okay, so there we are. That's not too bad out of one sheet of A4, and there's absolutely nothing left. Like I say, for some of them, that one in particular and that one, I would definitely stamp out the pink and put it on there just as a highlight, just to bring it all together, because they look a little bit on the dull side. And then I would zigzag around all of them, which I shall show you now. Let's just hope the machine wants to play ball for one last hurrah.
Hoorah!
Okay, well done everybody. Mainly Mr. F for keeping the show on the road. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get the new machine out for tomorrow. Oh my goodness. It has got lots of stitches on that we can play with though. Right, so what I probably should have done is back that first before I put the zigzag around it, but there you can see that is a completed tag. I'm quite pleased with it actually. I mean, given the constraints, the fact that the sewing machine didn't want to work, the fact I'm boiling hot, blah blah blah, then I do love the pinks and greens. Yeah, Jen, me too, I really do. Great job, Michelle says. Springy, it's springy, it really is. And spring is springing here. I have seen lambs, I've seen crocuses, I've seen daffodils. Spring is definitely springing. So, you know, all we need now is to be able to get out of the house in safety, and we're cooking, I think. Right, that's it. That's all I've got to show you today. Tomorrow we'll move on to the crazy patchwork and doing shapes and things like that. You know, that sort of thing. You can see it's pretty similar. I mean, well, pretty similar. It's the same. So we'll do a heart, and then we'll move on to, I don't know where my piece of crazy patchwork is. Here's a little piece here. Oh yeah, here. There's a piece, and there's another piece that I started just to make sure I could do it. So you see, it's interesting. It's different. Okay, well, thanks for bearing with me today, guys. It hasn't been easy, but I shall see you tomorrow, never fear, where we'll do some other bits and pieces relating to sewing though. So I'm really sorry if you're not a sewist, but you know, a lot of us are, and so it's just something different for you to have a go at. Particularly you, Mike. I want to see pictures. And can I just take this opportunity, please, to thank everybody who's bought me a coffee. It's really, really appreciated. I'm very grateful to you. As Julie said on her video, we don't drink that much coffee. I drink a lot, but not that much. And so it gets put into the kitty, the Miss Paint-A-Lot kitty, and I use that to buy the crafting items that I use on the lives, really. I sold a little journal this week, so I'm very grateful to the person for buying that. As I say, once again, the funds will get ploughed back into this. So thank you very much.
That's where it is, inside Shady. The Miss Paint-A-Lot kitty.
The Miss Paint-A-Lot kitty. Yeah, no, it's not in Shady. Although he does eat a lot. Right, so thank you very, very much for joining me. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, behave yourselves. Bye.
Bye, be safe, be happy. See you tomorrow. Bye.